Forget other people can check. No.
Carla, you having any pain?
Just Colin's last
But
name.
it's after the bee sting. I didn't have any pain till that
Bee
wasp.
sting?
Yeah, the wasp stung me like 2 inches from my incision. It's like, is God trying to tell me something?
Good thing you're not a horse.
I see my doctor tomorrow, so. But up until then, I wasn't having pain.
Hmm.
But it's like it started. It just,
Are you allergic?
Do we have a quorum?
I think we've got Ice, Johnston, and you. I'm not sure about
Mendoza.
Ryan.
here.
Oh, awesome. She's got teacher ears.
I'm here as well. Sorry about your leg, Carla. That sounds miserable. You poor thing.
Glad we're only talking about your leg.
How is your leg, Regent Johnston?
Good. Thank you for asking. Way better.
All right, it's 10:30. I have 10:30, so please allow me to call the meeting to order. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful June morning. And I'll ask Jennifer to call the roll, please.
Regent Lane,
Present.
Regent Ice,
Morning.
Regent Johnston,
Here.
Regent Mendoza,
Present.
Provost Bickelmeyer,
Hi there, I'm here. It's Jen Roberts. If she does not arrive, I can speak on her behalf.
Jen.
I am here.
There you are, Barb.
But I also would, just to let you know, I will need to leave at 11:30. So if we don't have everything that's got KU on the agenda, I am asking Jen to serve as my delegate. So thank you.
Misty Knox,
I'm here.
and Dr. Monholland.
Here.
That concludes roll.
Thank you very much. I'll now accept a motion to approve the minutes from our June 4th meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Any discussion, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion passed. Thank you all very much. As a reminder, since the majority of our team is remote, please use the chat feature or raise your hand. And if you could identify who you are prior to speaking, that would be very, very helpful. So now we're ready to move into the board discussion agenda. First item up is revisiting our program review recommendations for University of Kansas programs of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science in Geography, and a Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Music in Music. So bringing these back before us due to the fact that after our June 4th meeting in review of recommendations, it appeared as if we were inconsistent with our motion on these two particular programs. Just wanted to revisit that to either affirm an action plan or to discuss the need for an action plan with the proviso of meeting the targets within the 3-year period. So I'll just open it up to other members of the committee, regents, for discussion. We don't need to go into detail unless you want to on the two programs. Just a review of that recommendation.
Regent Lane, this is Regent Johnston.
Yes, thank you.
I would move that we move forward with the action plan with the proviso to bring it in line with the other programs and recommendations that we made.
Thank you, Regent Johnson. Is there a second of that motion?
I'll second. This is Ice.
Thank you, Regent Ice. Any discussion or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of modifying our recommendation from action plan to action plan with the requirement of meeting the thresholds, 3 of the 4, within the 3-year period, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
All right, thank you very much. That motion passes. And I apologize, Sam, that we didn't catch that in our meeting on the 4th. So in the board book, I assume the original recommendation is there. So we'll need to modify that before the board acts tomorrow. Okay. Take care of that. Thank you all very much. Now we're ready to hear the proposal for increasing the Bachelor of Science in Engineering Physics above the 120-hour amount. Provost Spickelmeyer.
Thank you, Regent Lane. So just as a little background, in 2018, KBOR approved all engineering programs in the state to exceed 120 credit hours. KU submitted pretty much a whole bunch of engineering programs at that point, including computer engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, aerospace, engineering, architectural engineering, chemical engineering, civil engineering, petroleum engineering, computer science, and information technology and applied computing. The one that we forgot to submit in 2018, and I was not here at that point in time, was the engineering physics program for the exception. So we have been cleaning up our inventory, as you know, and we found this oversight. And so we're doing this now. Through implementation of statewide general education, the program actually did reduce requirements from a maximum of 128.5 credit hours to a maximum of 126.5 credit hours. So KU's seeking approval to offer the degree at a maximum of 126.5. There are 22 other engineering physics programs in the US. Several are at 129 to 130 credit hours. So we're under what the common is for these other programs. Given the requirements of ABET, engineering's accreditor, and general education, and recognizing the work the program's done to further reduce credit hours, we're confident that our request has an appropriate number of hours. We do have Professor Jack Shear available to respond to any particular detailed questions you have about the change in program.
Thank you, Provost Spickelmeyer. Are there any questions or comments from the regents? Seems to make sense. It's in alignment with past practice, and it does not impact the general ed system-wide transfer courses. Is that right, Provost Spickelmeyer?
I believe that's correct. So Jen, you can correct me if I'm wrong, or Dr. Shear. Nope, we're good.
Okay, very good. I see no questions or comments, so I'd be willing to accept a motion to approve the exception.
So moved.
Is there a second?
This is Ice. I'll second.
Thank you very much, Regent Ice, Regent Mendoza. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All right, very good. Thank you very much, and thank you, Provost, and to your team. Wow, we are moving at a really nice pace this morning, and we're ready for other matters. So, Misty, would you please give us an update on the reverse transfer?
So I'm going to share my screen with you and just go through a report that I gave SCOCO this morning, just to highlight some of the high points here. So reverse transfer is a process of retroactively granting associate degrees from most recently attended two-year college by combining the credits a student earns at a 2-year and a 4-year college. Here's a board policy as it relates to reverse transfer. The process for reverse transfer was developed by institutions for institutions. And that reverse transfer procedure process then, as outlined here, is followed by 4-year and 2-year institutions as they participate in the reverse transfer process. I do want to highlight universities identify the reverse transfer eligible students. They obtain that consent. That consent is very vital to the success of this initiative. And then universities send those transcripts along with contact information twice a year to those community colleges. And then community colleges log those transcripts and begin evaluating. Students that meet the requirements of such degree are then posted on their transcripts and sent back to the universities. And then the 2-year colleges, according to the reverse transfer procedures, are then notifying those students by sending a letter that their degree has been posted, and the transcript is sent to the university, or if they are not meeting those requirements, a letter is being sent to outline the requirements that have not been met, so those students are aware. So first, I'm just going to show a few slides here that highlight the 5-year trends, and then I'm going to highlight the process since the reverse transfer began in 2015. So just keep in mind here, this report only includes new opt-ins, students who have not reported to us previously and do not have an associate degree. A couple highlights here on this slide. Butler, Johnson County, certainly doing a lot for their associate degrees awarded. So this slide shows the opt-ins by the university. So the universities are sending the transcript of students who opt in to multiple community colleges, 2-year colleges. So when institutions are obtaining those opt-ins, then sending to the 2-year colleges, we're looking here at what % of those opt-ins actually receive an associate degree. Thought this was pretty indicative of the success of what our institutions are doing. So highlighting here, looking at the 50% threshold of those opt-ins that are received, how many are receiving a degree? Butler is above that 50%, Neosho County, Cloud County, Fort Scott, Hutchinson, and Burton. So for this 5-year span, for all the public institutions, there were 1,834 opt-ins and 969 degrees awarded. So that unduplicated percentage of awards for this 5-year span of opt-ins was 53%. And I'll show you the significance in that here in just a second. So now let's take a look at that same data since 2015, again, when reverse transfer started. So this is the comprehensive total per year of the associate degrees awarded. Then highlighting here the opt-ins received by the 2-year institutions, again, Butler, Johnson County, Hutch, Cali, Alden, and quite a few opt-ins, getting quite a few opt-ins here. So from academic year 2015 to 2023, for all the public institutions, there were 4,079 opt-ins and 1,692 degrees awarded. So that unduplicated percentage then from the span of 2015 is 41%. So all that to show you that over the last 5 years, there has been an increase in the amount of associate degrees we are awarding based on the number of opt-ins that we are receiving. So there's certainly improvement in that area. And just to highlight again here, those opt-ins that are turning into those degrees, Neosho County, Coffeyville, Cloud County Community College, Butler, Hutchinson, and Washburn. So we're continuing to monitor and optimize the reverse transfer process. The reverse transfer working group met in October. And then again, at the beginning of the month, some agenda items that were discussed were reviewing this data presented today, which is posted on the website under reverse transfer. And then also we discussed those procedures and some best practices. In addition to the members of the working group who are present, the National Student Clearinghouse was there. They provide a free data exchange service. We set up a webinar, which will be offered on July 2nd at 9 a.m. If you want to register for that, share it with institutions and so forth. That's on our website as well. Some improvements that we're currently navigating include adding some clarity and simplification to the reverse transfer procedures, which will then be approved by SCOCO and SCOPS according to the board policy. So I want to add a snippet here, make sure the institutional contacts posted on our website under reverse transfer are updated and correct, because those changes will also be vetted through all of our institutions as well. So we're also eliciting some feedback of the universities on the impact of a policy revision that would add a caveat to determine when opt-ins would be obtained by the universities. So when those students would provide opt-in consent. We're also working to create a consistent awareness about those reverse transfer procedures. So those are the procedures that all the institutions 4-year and 2-year colleges then follow. So we would just want to make sure these procedures are being shared with the registrars and also the advisors and appropriate individuals at the campuses. We're also drafting a common opt-in language for institutions to use and tracking the progress of the Reverse Transfer Efficiency Act of 2023. This act would create a new exemption for sharing student educational records between higher education institutions. Certainly remove that barrier for us. And then just want to highlight again that National Student Clearinghouse webinar, which will be on July 2nd. We hope that they're able to answer some questions among the system on the National Student Clearinghouse as a assistance for the transcript sharing between institutions. And with that, I'll open the floor for questions.
Thank you very much, Misty, and thank you for this work and to your work group. This is critically important to our students. We want to make sure they have an opportunity to receive a degree that they've earned, so we appreciate that. My one question before I open it up to others is, do we know nationally what our benchmark is? Who's doing this well, and what percentage of awards might a benchmark in some other state have that we could emulate?
So I don't know that specifically. I'll open that up to Carla in case she knows. There is a website that is being shared on the policies associated with each state. I can tell you a lot of the states are navigating some of the same challenges that we are with the Privacy Act and getting the opt-ins from the students is a challenge for sure. Is there anything you want to add there?
No, that's something we can certainly look at, especially the regional area. We usually try to compare the surrounding states, so we could look at that.
Might be helpful to kind of know what are we aiming to achieve. Thank you very much. Questions or comments from the regions?
Chair Lane, this is Alicia.
Yes, please.
So thank you for all your work on this. I completely agree with Chair Lane. It's really beneficial if students can achieve that associate degree, and it's also beneficial for institutions if they can show completion for our students. My question does also rest on the opt-in, opt-out. The language that you're looking to change possibly within the policy, will that allow, if we can get that FERPA piece fixed, will that allow an opt-out instead of an opt-in? I know that if they were just to opt out, we would pick up a lot more students, or there's at least a possibility that they would. And maybe you could just address how exactly that works. Misty, sorry.
Yeah, so we met yesterday. Thanks for that question. We met yesterday. General Counsel Yuri was there, had a just open conversation about this same question that you have today. There was a lot of questions presented at that time. I can tell you that the Reverse Transfer Efficiency Act would really remove this barrier for us. And that would be ideal. Now, as far as the language with the board policy that we're navigating, this would, and we're vetting that again through our universities to see the impact potentially of that language change within policy. And that specific change, potential change, would be adding the opt-in to a application process or enrollment process on once those students become students or applying. So that was a language change that we were navigating.
Thank you. That's helpful. Thank you. And I think it would be super beneficial because I think we would affect a lot more students if we can get that done. So.
Excellent point. Any other comments or questions? I don't know. Do we have a community college partner online who might want to speak to this as well? All right, seeing none. Thank you very much for the report, Misty, and for the work to continue our continuous improvement in this arena. We're now ready for our academic affairs update. Dr. Mulholland.
Thank you, Regent Lane. I'm going to ask Carla to give a very quick update on TAC.
Sure. The Transfer Council, we meet a week before the board meeting. And so our chairs, Tiffany Bohm from KCK Community College and Casey Freitas-Chapes from the University of Kansas, have agreed to lead the group as co-chairs one more year. We usually do it 1 year. They've already done 3, but the rest of the group felt they're doing a great job and they would like them to continue. So they've promised to do that for 1 more year. And it makes such a smooth transition when we have the same co-chairs. The meeting times will be, again, a week before the board meeting at 2:00. And the last meeting last week, we worked the quality assurance report. We present that at the annual Kansas Core Outcomes Groups Conference. That's October 11th. If board members would love to attend, we would love to have you. October 11th, it's a Friday, and we have an opening session. And we appreciate Regent Johnston giving us a warm welcome last year. So if you're willing to help out again, Regent Johnston, we would appreciate that. And then the other committee works on updating our procedures. We update our procedures every year to just see if there's something that isn't in there that needs to be. So that's all I have for transfer.
I'll give a couple of quick updates. First, on the System-Wide General Education Council. It met on May 28th and reviewed a deviation request from KU Medical Center for the Clinical Laboratory Science Program. The council requested additional information from Dr. Klein, which he has provided. The council is reviewing that information and will make a recommendation at its forthcoming meeting on June 25th. The council continues to work on the development of a procedures guide. And finally, we received exception requests from KU Med for the bachelor's degrees in respiratory care, diagnostic science, and health information management to continue to require a specific general education course. The requests were reviewed by academic affairs staff and KBOR staff recommended approval of the request, which President Flanders granted. Shifting to math pathways, the work of the task force, the course placement measures committee, and the discipline gateway courses. The task force met on May 21st to set goals for the next academic years. They included developing an FAQ guide, as well as the creation of 2 subcommittees focusing on communication and co-requisite support. The course placement measures committee met on June 10 and will meet again on June 26. That committee has finalized the multiple measures recommendations for the college algebra math gateway, and will finalize the multiple measures recommendation for contemporary math and elementary statistics at the June 26th meeting. Those recommendations will then come to me. The committee will also meet in July to discuss implementation and to provide recommendations to K-Board administration in this area. And finally, the discipline gateway courses. We thank all the university CAOs for confirming round one program decisions. We are pleased to report that all programs requiring follow-up have been resolved. The remaining disciplines had an informational session on June 3rd. They had smaller discipline meetings after that. And our round two decisions are due back to K-Board next Monday, is it? The 24th, I believe. So that's all I have on that. Math pathways and general education. I will provide just one piece of information from SCOCO this morning. Per the conversation at our June 4th meeting, the BASC meeting, when we talked about the metrics, and I believe there was some indication that the regions would be open to revisiting the metrics, perhaps refining them, taking other aspects of the university mission and focus into account. I reached out to the provost this morning and will initiate those discussions with them so that we can begin to pull together some possible ideas, revisions to the metrics and the process. I think that's all I have, Chair Lane.
Thank you very much for that update. Really important work, and it's great to hear today how those things are moving forward. Any comments or questions for Dr. Mulholland or for Carla? Not seeing any. Let me just say that the program review post-mortem, I think, is an excellent activity to undertake. Just be cautious that we don't change things too much, because we have action plans now in place that are tied directly to the current thresholds. So some adjustments may be warranted, but with caution, to make sure we're accomplishing what we want.
Absolutely.
So we've come to my favorite part of our agenda always, and I want to thank the provost for recommending that we lift up some of the many, many great things that are happening across our universities through our good news reports. We're going to start today with the sharing of a video. Matt Keith has put together kind of a culminating video of our past good news share outs, and then Provost will return to you with opportunity to share 2 additional good news reports today.
Sorry, I'm going to start that over.
We have an initiative to continue to grow the number and variety of paid applied learning opportunities we provide our students. So our fall data, we have over 9,000 of those paid applied positions, and the students are earning over $35 million. So we understand the impact that's having on the economy, not only and the latest addition to that, last week, was our partnership with the Bureau of Outcomes for Firearms and Education. We spent $75 million to put a facility on our campus for the Gun Crime Intelligence Center. It's the first of its kind to be located on a university campus. Will provide amazing opportunities for our students in criminal justice and forensic science for paid applied learning, working right alongside those special agents. It's really exciting, and love sharing that with you.
KU's aerospace engineering students recently collected several awards at the International Design Competition. Undergraduates in aerospace engineering finished first and third in the Institute of Aeronautics and and Astronautics Undergraduate Individual Design Competition for their design of efficient aircraft that can land or take off using either land or water. And my quick ask is that we have a student who's a finalist for the Rhodes Scholarship.
I want to reinforce too, the universities work with communities and schools and everyone. Over the last couple of weeks, we've had over 1,000 students come in working with Kansas Works. They came to our Bicknell Fine Arts Center and did some work with us there. The Veterans Day, as many of you know, we have one of the moving walls for Vietnam Memorial. We always have the middle schoolers come out and they participate in that ceremony and the importance of that particular day and also perform at that particular event. Our College of Technology does an open house regularly. 650 students from the region showed up for that. Also, with that particular group, those connections, they went out to the Four Oaks Municipal Golf Course and did concrete work on some of the cart paths, those kinds of things as well.
Another big item, we had limited me to 2. I could do 12, but I'll do 2. We recently announced, made the decision a few months back, but we recently announced that ESG is eliminating the application fee for all undergrad domestic students. So application fees for that audience will no longer be a thing at Emporia State.
The third item I want to share is from my visit with the Department of Psychology. I learned more about our psychology testing clinic. You can visit our website and see more information about that, but kind of in the spirit of applied learning, we have a psychology testing clinic where either a referral or a self-referral could come in and be tested for various behavioral types of assessments and receive diagnoses. And we are feeling a need in our region that is pretty incredible. And I hadn't fully understood what that need was until I visited with the department. There is a tremendous need for these assessments so that interventions can happen in our school system. And in Northwest Kansas, there's not enough, there are not enough people trained to be able to do those assessments. And so people are school counselors, medical doctors, parents, having to wait months in some cases in most of these cases are children. They're having to wait months to get some kind of testing done. So our students, our grad students are involved in this, along with a faculty member who has lots of clinical psychology experience. And this was what was maybe most astounding to me. In our area, those assessments from start to finish in our communities can cost upwards of $2,000, and at Fort Hays between $100 and $300.
This last week, we kicked off a $200 million plus Ag Innovation Initiative, fittingly with Call Hall Ice Cream at the corner of Weber Arena that has experienced its last rodeo. So we'll build a much larger rodeo, a much larger arena. So that kicked off with demo with the dean, and Dean Ernie Mitten was there handing out ice cream to students as they walked by. So that is very exciting on our campus, creating a great deal of buzz. And where Weber Arena will be our global center for grain and food innovation. And so while that benefits the College of Agriculture, we've been very strategic that 30% of that building space will be interdisciplinary space. And so we're building it with that in mind. So that will be a game changer on our campus. I'll continue the ag theme and let you know that our meat animal evaluation team are the national champs again. 4 years in a row, 7 years out of the last 8, they have served as national champions. We had 6 students individually rank in the top 10, but even more impressive, we had 5 in the top 5. So very, very proud of our animal science program and our students.
Thank you very much again to you, Matt Keith, for putting that together. This agenda item, I'm going to encourage continue because we're focused when we meet on the business of governing the universities, talking about programs and improvements. It is so powerful to take a moment to share all the amazing things happening across our university campuses. So thank you, Matt, and thank you to all who contributed. Now we'll open it up to any provost who would like to share a good news item with us today.
I'll kick us off. Oh,
Thank you.
thing I got in front of you. I'm sorry. I want to share first that President Mason, myself, and another colleague at Fort Hays and one of our students traveled to China since our last meeting and celebrated commencement ceremonies with our students in China. About 817 students at one institution and 420 at the other. So that was a great couple of weeks of celebrating our students in China. Just this week, we learned that Fort Hays State University was one of 25 public institutions in the state or in the nation to receive the first Leadership for Public Purpose Carnegie classification. This is a new Carnegie classification. We submitted an application just over a year ago and learned this week that we were in fact part of the inaugural class of Leadership for Public Purpose. And so thrilled about that. Last thing I'll share today is that we have 31 folks right now in Austria, or traveling to Austria soon for an opportunity to present, perform music at a prestigious hall in Austria. I can't think of the name of it right now, but we're thrilled to have our music students and some community members and alumni, as well as faculty in music and theater that are traveling right now to Austria to experience Mozart and the home of Mozart and sing some of his musical pieces in some grand places in Austria. Thanks for the time.
Thank you so much. Those are wonderful. Congratulations. Provost Thomas, I think you were trying to be up next.
Yeah, thank you. Just a couple of things. This is the 23rd year of our Masterate Camp, our summer Masterate Camp, which is for encouraging young women to gain an interest in STEM professions. So it's a 5-day residential program, and it's an opportunity for young women to interact with women professionals in STEM and engage in a lot of really fun and interesting hands-on learning opportunities. So 23 years of that at Emporia State University and going strong. Also, it's our 70th year of summer theater at Emporia State University, which is, I'm told, the longest continuously running summer theater program in the Great Plains. So very proud that that's happening yet again for the 70th year here at Emporia State. And then very recently, our CyROC, our Cybersecurity Research and Outreach Center, held a boot camp training program with 20 attendees, which allows the attendees, once they complete that, to sit for a certification test, which enables them to do some really practical things related to cybersecurity and protecting their interest in their businesses. And that's all for me today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Provost Thomas. Those are excellent things to celebrate. I don't know who else is with us today, so we have another provost. Please jump on.
Sure, I'll be glad to go. This is Shirley at Wichita State. And first of all, thank you so much for that video. Really appreciate the time that was invested in putting that together. I think it's a really nice highlight of all of our institutions. So thank you very much for doing that. The two items I'd like to share. First is we just received notification a little while ago that our biology field station that's located on the Youngmeyer Ranch is 4,700 acres of pristine prairie located in Elk County. New construction was opened in the summer of 2022, just received the American Institute of Architects Award, which is, I understand, is the first in Kansas and highly prestigious. So that facility, coincidentally enough, we held a Dean's Retreat there last month, and really the focus of the retreat was applied learning. So it was particularly appropriate for us to be in a setting that exudes applied learning and such a beautiful surrounding. So if you ever have the opportunity to visit that field station, I would highly recommend it. It's really one of a kind. and we're very proud of it. The second item I'll just share is that we also just recently were notified that we received $1 million funding from NSF to to focus on faculty advancement, retention, and excellence. So really retaining and mentoring our faculty. It's a 3-year project, or 3 years of funding, and really has formed the impetus now, or kind of the last brick in that we needed to go ahead and establish a dedicated space for a center of excellence for teaching and research for our faculty. So we will be putting that on our campus here soon, and really excited about the impact that that will have, not only on faculty retention, but our student success and retention as well.
Thank you, Provost Lefevre. Those are wonderful things to know about. Excited for you. Dr. Bigelmeyer, are you still on?
I am. And
All
thank
right.
you for the opportunity, and thanks echoing Shirley and others for the video and the time that was put into that. First up, KU celebrating the fact that we recently received news that we've been awarded an $11.3 million grant from the National Institutes of Health to establish a multidisciplinary biomedical center at KU to do research on big data's potential to improve women's health. The grant will support 3 new tenure track faculty hires in chemistry, psychology, and sociology, whose research will focus on the intersection of big data and biomed research that benefits women. Heather Desser is the Dean's Professor in Chemistry, and she serves as the principal investigator for that grant. So we're very excited about that opportunity. Secondly, you may have heard previously of a faculty member in anthropology, Jennifer Raff from KU. Her first book, titled Origins, A Genetic History of the Americas, was listed for 2 weeks last year, I believe, on the New York Times bestsellers list for nonfiction titles. It's a phenomenal feat when you can turn genomics into a New York Times bestseller. Her book explains her research in terms of, in relatable ways to general audiences, that is combining science and storytelling. As a result, she was recently awarded a prestigious Guggenheim Fellowship for that work and on the history of humans through genome sequencing and how it ties to contemporary people and our movements across time and space. Her fellowship with Guggenheim is for recognition of her demonstrated exceptional capacity to bring productive scholarship and creative ability together in the arts, and exhibits great promise. She is one of 175 people who were awarded that fellowship out of 3,000 applications that came in this past year. And she will be working on a follow-up book as a result of that. So we're proud of Professor Raff and her work.
Congratulations, and thank you for sharing that. Perhaps Professor Raff can come share more with the board at some point. Thank you very much. I don't know if we have anyone still on from Pitt State. Is Rebecca?
Yes.
Melinda's.
Yes,
Good.
good morning, and I'm filling in for Provost Smith, and I've got a couple of items to share. Last week, we received exciting news from the city of Pittsburgh. They have approved a nearly $10 million investment in our Gorilla Rising project. And that project includes moving our Kels College of Business to our downtown district to join Block 22. So we're excited about that. Bids should be going out soon, and it's great news for our business students and faculty. So excited about that. In athletic news, both our men's and women's outdoor track and field teams recently won the Division II National Championship. And we've also started construction on our soccer pitch, which will be ready this fall for our new women's soccer team. So lots of exciting things happening on campus.
Thank you so much, Melinda. Thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it very much.
Appreciate it.
And then K-State. Do we have anybody?
I think Provost Mendez was called back to the COPS meeting.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I don't think anybody else is on for K-State to share good news.
Well, we'll give him an extra one next time. Let me just end the meeting today with expressing my sincerest appreciation and the honor and privilege it has been to serve as the Chair of Academic Affairs. The team here in this room have really kept me moving forward, and I am so grateful for all your coaching and the learning. And also to the Provost and the wider team. It has been an extreme honor to serve in this capacity. I've learned a lot, and ever so grateful that you continue to have a focus on students. The academic affairs portion, I believe, of the Regent's work is the heartbeat of why we are here. It's to ensure that our students and their families realize success and have opportunity. So thank you all very much. It's been a privilege to serve, and I look forward to working with you all in a different capacity moving forward. Any other comments from the board members?
Thanks for your leadership, Dr. Lane.
Thank you.
I second that. Thank you so much for your mentorship and your leadership.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Lane. Not only for your leadership, but I've learned so much from you, and I look forward to continue working with you.
Thank you all very much. And with that, our meeting is adjourned. Enjoy the rest of your day.